All right, hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jesse from oldpocketknives.com, and today I'm going to show you a box of knives that I purchased on eBay. It was actually 4 separate lots, and it all equaled out to about $130 total, and I thought there was an intriguing knife or two in each of the lots, so going to show you those today. Hope you enjoy it. Let's check them out. Okay, so some interesting ones in here. First of all, why don't we start out with the, any guesses who made this one? If you said Remington, you would be correct. You can see the stamp there. This is an R100A, which I believe was called the Dollar Stockman. Some of them have a covered back spring. This one does not, but as it is a Stockman, it has 3 blades. The bone is in real nice shape, as you can see, but the blades are a bit pitted. Pretty full, but again, maybe some storage issues with this knife, but pretty neat one. A little Stockman, kind of a characteristic swell end on this Remington pattern that you don't see very often. So there's your Remington. This is a small Utica knife. The problem with it is that it has a broken back spring. So someone out there might be able to rescue it, but you can see the Utica stamp there. Made in New York, probably the 1930s. And there is a manicure blade in here. And it is not a manicure blade, it is a pen blade, but also has that Utica stamp right there. All right. So, neat little pen knife with the jigged bone handles in real nice shape. All right, so this one's cool because it's really kind of a large folder here. This is a Robert Klaas, K-L-A-A-S. I hope I'm saying that right. It has the kissing crane, the 2 crane logo here. I have a feeling, it locks. I have a feeling this was maybe a military issue or something, as it did have a can opener. It just kind of has that look about it, but it has a bottle opener, and again has this locking blade. But the bottle opener, the top of it has snapped off, so that's unfortunate. But pretty cool knife. It's got probably the initials or something of the former owner. Wooden handles, pretty cool. All right, so this one's pretty unique too. This one I haven't seen before. It's a gun stock pattern here. Single blade, if you can kind of see that. It's a Henry Sears and Sons. I think 1865 was the part of the trademark there. It's an oldie. It's got the match strike pull. That all brass construction, kind of to make it look like jig stag or bone or something like that, but pretty interesting. Has nickel silver pins. The rest of it is a brass construction. So that's an oldie. That one's definitely pre-1900, I would say. All right, Trapper. This is a Saber, I believe. Yep, Saber pattern, and looks like a 614. And these were made in Japan, I believe in the 70s, probably is what I'm guessing. Sabers are getting to be a little bit more collectible now, but pretty nice little knife. All right, next up, little Imperial swell end jack, probably 60s or something like that. Interesting, cool. All right, so this one was part of a toolkit knife initially. You can see that there's this kind of exposed pin there, and it goes through, and you could hook up some tools to the other end of the handle. This is made by Claus from Ohio, C-L-A-U-S-S, and I know there's a case connection to this company, but little jackknife. The wood's a little darker on this side, looks like ebony, not so much on this side. All right, so This knife, I wanted to open this because I had to use a pair of pliers to get the blade out. But the collection came from Omaha, Nebraska, and a lot of these knives kind of reflect that. There's a lot of makers who kind of come from that part of the country, kind of the middle of the United States. This is a good example. So this one, you can read that, I think. Yep. Curtin and Clark, Kansas City. So this was a hardware wholesaler who were in business making cutlery from 1910 to 1920. So this is definitely a 100-plus-year-old knife. Unfortunately, the pen blade is broken, but you can see that same stamp on the main blade. And also there's a CCC, like Curtin, Clark and Company, stamp on the blade there. So pretty interesting. Ebony handles, really like the bomb shield there. Wonder who made it, not sure. Maybe New York Knife Company, or I'm not sure, but you can inform me if you know. But they did not make their own knives. But I thought that was kind of a cool one. So Curtin, Clark and Company, Kansas City. All right, moving on. A little Barlow here. I was interested or intrigued to see that this is from Japan as well. Solid bolsters, GCC Company. I'm not sure what that stands for, but looks like 155, 65, 05, but that's the pattern of this little Barlow. Can't open that, that's okay. But neat little knife with the kind of plastic saw cut handles. All right. Pruner, Hawkbill has seen better days. This is a Dunlap USA. Little A on the back handle. Someone could probably reshape this one for sure if they were so inclined. Okay, a little Scout knife, one of the official Scout knives here with the little shield there. Ulster, I believe. Yep, Ulster USA. I'm not 100% sure when this one dates, but I think it's from, the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. So it has the little punch blade, got our can opener, our cap lifter, and the like. So nice nickel silver bolsters. This will clean up real nice. Okay, another one kind of in rough shape here, but an oldie. This one, I believe, is a Wyeth's hardware. Let's see if this one reads a little easier. Yeah, Wyeth hardware. Your basic jack, no shield, ebony handles, brass pins and liners, steel bolsters. Probably a good old cheapo knife back in the day, but it did the job. All right, so I saw this one and I knew something was interesting. I was thinking it might be case because I could only see this part. It's bone handles, specifically a rare green bone handles, and you can see the old case shield there. This has been filled in with some solder type material. Not pretty, but I knew that this was a rare knife. You can see it has the blades sharpened and shortened, but it is the tested era trapper, which is always a rare knife. And I believe I looked this one up, and if this was in good shape, this could be $1,000, $2,000 knife. So unfortunately, it is not, but maybe someone out there could use this frame and shield, maybe the spay blade, to kind of breathe some life into it, but that's not me. So rare one, I believe it would be a 6254. 6 is the bone handle, I believe. But the 54 pattern is the trapper. And you can see it does have that case tested stamp. Darn it. Okay, moving on. We have another cool one. This is Wallkill River, which is a New York Knife Company brand in the late 20s, I believe, maybe early 30s. And they did a lot of these kind of basic jackknives. And Can you read the stamp there? Wallkill River Works, New York, Walden, New York. Can you see the Walden on there if I change that? Yep, Walden, New York. So bone handles, nice little federal style shields. Looks like it was dried out, but it did crack on the end here, but overall pretty complete. Nice looking handles on the back. And steel bolsters, brass liners, and steel pins on this knife. Wallkill River Works. Okay, I'm getting down to some of the other knives in here, but we have a little electrician's knife, a TL29. I think this one dates from the 60s, 70s, given the stamp. Plastic handle. I thought this was kind of a nice little one here. German. When I look at this type of knife, I can kind of identify the construction as being made in Germany, and has two little blades on it. This little half Congress, pearl handles, and I can't read it, but it's something in Brothers. But it's in nice shape, isn't it? Nice little knife. And again, I'm trying to get that to read. Having a hard time. Something RMS and Brothers, but definitely a nice little German half Congress. Pretty fancy. Pretty fancy. All right, well, here's another one of those kind of Midwestern brands here. I had to do some research on this one, but it is broken, unfortunately, but I'm always intrigued what the heck I'm looking at, so I do a little bit of research. Hard to read. I can see Omaha there. I also see that this is horn handles, which is indication of an earlier knife, usually before the 1900 mark. But this manicure blade, I think, has a better stamp. There it is. And it's, I believe, LCA Hardware Company, Omaha. So I did a little bit of research on this knife, and I'll kind of put that up there now. But 1880s, I believe, until maybe the turn of the century, 1900 or so. But online, I saw that there was like an old, like a draw knife. But I couldn't find any other pocket knives. So I think it's a pretty rare knife. And kind of a crown pen knife. Pretty neat. It's got the nickel silver bolsters and pins and brass liners on it. But again, the horn handles looks like they are flea bitten or just busted up a little bit. But a rare one, definitely over 120 years old. So Omaha, Nebraska. All right, little baseball bat knife, probably from the 30s, made by Camillus. It's actually Fairmount. Hard to read that, but it has a little baseball on it, and it says home run. Pretty neat little knife. Classic, right? Old timer. It's not a Schrade Walden, but it is a Schrade New York, USA 80T, which is the Stockman. I don't think this is from the 90s or the 2000s. I would probably put this at the 70s or 80s mark, maybe the 70s after Walden stamp was done away with, but can't really beat an old timer. Something about those, even though they're Delrin, nice tones of those, that saw cut and pocket worn handles, but that's a Schrade old timer. Little pearl handle knife here, little jack. Again, all these could use a nice bath and some cleaning, some love. But this is a Robeson, and it has the arch stamp on the pen blade. Pearl handles. This side is looking pretty nice. Little chip, little tiny chip there, and a little stress crack there, but it's complete. And a nice little Robeson knife from New York. 1930s or earlier. forget about folding pocket knives. How about a folding knife? So I know these were usually sold as a set, but this one only has the fork. It's a George Charade, and I think the patent is from the 40s, so I would assume it's probably from the 40s or 50s, used for scouts. Okay. Here is another little knife, and it is also a Robeson, but it looks like it is missing the little shield on it, little pen blade. Little Robeson. A little bit later stamp. You can see it's in that straight line. That's usually like 1950s or later. Okay, so yeah, this is interesting little knives here. These little kind of, I'm not sure what they're called, but little extendable knives with the kind of a plastic handle. There's a few of those in there. I don't see a stamp. There's something stamped on the inside, but I won't be able to read that because it doesn't go that far. But interesting little knife. Usually these were kind of giveaways, and I saw a couple others in here like that too. All right, so this is kind of a neat little Robeson knife. You can see that it has pocket ease on the handle, the shield there. And that was one of the brands that Robeson had. And basically, the joints of the back of the blades here were sunken in below the liners, so it wouldn't catch on your pockets, and that's why it was called pocket ease. The opposite of that would be like this knife, where you can see the back of the blades there, the tangs stick out, and that could sort of wear on your pants, your pocket. So that's why these were called pocket ease. Go easy on your pockets. And this one I can't open without the assistance. Okay, no half stops on this knife, but I'm not sure if you can see the stamp on that, but Robeson. And then this one I believe has the arch stamp of Robeson. But yes, kind of cool handles here. Still has some snap, and like the kind of the watermelon black and green sort of alternating pattern there on the celluloid. Pretty cool. Pocket ease Robeson. Okay. So this knife is really rusted. It's a Stockman, and it reminds me of the handles of the demo knives. It has a punch blade. I don't see any stamps on it, but I'm gonna guess it's like a Kingston knife or something like that. Maybe military made, but obviously we got a swinger here, and we have a broken back spring, but it has brass liners, so that's interesting. I'll have to do a little more research on this one, but little Stockman with the metal handles. Okay, well, we're getting down to it here, guys. A lot of the stuff in here is, grab bag stuff. Got some razors, SRD, which is German. It's something I can't really pronounce, but a nice little razor there. We have some homemade sort of knives, a little price tag still on it, with these clear handles. Interesting little project knife there someone made some time ago. There's still some decent stuff in here, but I think I showed you the most interesting out of the pile. Some little trick knives, right? So open up. Sorry, my hands get so dirty when I'm going through these old knives, but probably Imperial, because I think that's basically who made them. Yep, Imperial. I thought these are always kind of neat. How do you make it close? Tip it upside down, and then there's a little pin that locks the blade with this in this little opener here. I believe it's an opener, or maybe it's just the mechanism for the knife. But there's a trick knife or two in here as well. There's some old jacks and some things, but pretty much the most interesting stuff I believe I've shown you today. Another electrician's knife. Yep. Some of the stuff is in kind of rough shape. Oh, this one's kind of neat. Let me kind of finish with this one. But this one says Miami, Florida. And I'm not exactly sure. Maybe a name? But little tiny souvenir knife. But I was intrigued to see that it was actually made by Utica. Usually it's like Imperial or, you know, Hammer brand, Colonial. But this one is actually made by Utica. So probably 1930s. It's in good shape. Could use a good cleaning. But nice little knife. Miami, Florida. Found another little pen knife here, which is made by a lot of Uticas in here. Utica Cutlery. Little pen blade. Again, needs a good cleaning. That's for sure, but probably another 1930s, maybe early 40s or something. Pen knife. These are interesting. These Normark. Something happened with the handle. Looks like it was melted or something like that. But these are normally pretty cool. Knife. It says EKA Sweden. So got a little Europe in here too. And the back of the blade says stainless. Looks like it's maybe like a screw type handle as well. Those brass screws. All right, well, that's about it, guys. I wanted to show you those. Oh, and one more thing. Okay, so last I had actually taken out all these kind of small knives and kind of put them aside. I'm probably going to sell all these as like a lot. Some people like to collect the little tiny guys. And a little lobster pattern. Some real tiny ones, like an inch closed. I believe the stamp on it's really hard to read, but I think it's a Colonial. So, little cute little knives here, absolutely. Got this kind of gold looking one. USA. Probably mostly like souvenir type knives, but a lot of them don't have like the location they came for, so where it came from. Little Japanese little fish knife. Pretty neat looking. Some of them are advertising pieces, giveaways, Colonial. Like the little fish knife here, two blade little Texas toothpick pattern, if you will. This one's a Colonial too with the two blades. This one, St. Lawrence Cutlery, which I think is German. Little tiny guys, little bowling pin style here, which is usually an Imperial or Hammer brand. Hammer brands, yep. And some interesting little pieces in here. I think this is European of some sort. Has a little toothpick and scoop thing. Not sure what that was for. Little tiny bail on this one. Probably also a little Colonial. But I can't really read it. Probably Colonial. So yeah, interesting little knives. So I'm going to sell these as a lot and see if someone wants to buy these up, because these are not my forte. These are not really what I go after. But little Kellogg's. Omaha again. There you go. Little pieces here. I like this one. Cool. It's got the neat little kind of, I don't know, 50s, 60s writing on it. Johnny Hrupik's Cafe of, once again, Omaha. So again, maybe someone out there really takes an interest in that type of thing. A little USA knife with the original little loop on the back. So anyway, there you go. Wanted to show these off too because these were kind of interesting. What do you think? All right, guys. Well, hope you had fun kind of going through all these knives. This isn't going to be a money maker for me, but definitely will be able to earn my money back. And I'll probably be selling all of them, maybe. Might keep the old timer, just sucker for a good old-fashioned old-timer there. But for the most part, I'm going to be selling these on eBay. So if you want to check my link below, you might see some of them for sale. But again, I just enjoy kind of going through these old knives, and I hope you had fun kind of doing the same with me. So as always, this is Jesse from oldpocketknives.com, and thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and see you.